the Nonprofit Podcast, powered by DonorBox.
Over the next couple of decades, an unprecedented transfer of wealth amounting to a staggering $84 trillion and counting is set to unfold. This is a seismic shift that's not only redefining family legacies, but also reshaping the very landscape of philanthropy. With millennials, that's me, and Gen Xers poised to inherit the lion's share of this wealth, nonprofits have a golden opportunity to tap into a new wave of giving and drive meaningful change on a global scale. Welcome to the Nonprofit Podcast. I'm Jenna, Education and Community Engagement Manager here at DonorBox. We are here each week with practical actions you can use today to increase donations and take your nonprofit to the next level tomorrow. You know, when I first heard about this massive wealth transfer, I was both excited and a little overwhelmed. And let's be honest, talking about this kind of stuff is never easy, but it's necessary. And there is so much potential for nonprofits to make a real difference. So let's tackle this together, step by step. Today, we're going to explore the great wealth transfer and what it means for your nonprofit. We'll talk about how to navigate this potentially sensitive topic with donors, engage with these new inheritors, and I'll share some strategies you can implement to really capitalize on this opportunity for impact and growth. So, what is driving this big shift in wealth? Baby boomers in the silent generation have accumulated substantial assets over their lifetimes, and they are now entering a phase of planning and reflection. They're contemplating their legacy and how to best pass on their wealth to the next generation. Think about it. This is a generation that has experienced a significant amount of economic growth, benefiting from a robust post-war economy, the tech boom, a booming real estate market. They've built businesses, invested wisely, they've saved diligently. And now, as they look to the future, they are making critical decisions about how to allocate their assets. On the other side, millennials and Gen Xers are settling into positions of influence. They are armed with their own set of values and aspirations. They are more like socially conscious inheritors. They're really eager to make a difference and support causes that resonate with their personal values and vision for the future. And these generations grew up during a time of rapid technological advancement and social change. Gen Xers and millennials are more connected to global issues, more conscious of social justice, and more likely to support environmental sustainability. They've seen the effects of climate change, social inequality, political unrest, and they want, and in some cases they need, to be a part of the solution. For nonprofits, this really presents a compelling opportunity to engage with a new breed of donors who are not only willing, but eager to invest in social good. And these donors are looking for transparency and accountability. They want to see tangible results and know that their contributions are making a real difference. They're interested in innovative solutions and are often willing to take risks on new ideas and approaches. They value that collaboration and community, seeking out organizations that foster inclusivity and partnership. So, the big question is, how do nonprofits navigate this wealth transfer successfully? Well, let's start at the source. The folks who have the money right now. As the baby boomer generation prepares to pass on their wealth, nonprofits really need to identify and engage with potential legacy donors among this demographic. So this involves both prospecting and nurturing relationships with current donors who may be interested in leaving a lasting legacy. When I think about legacy giving, I can't help but think about my own parents and the discussions we've had about their hopes for the future. It's a tough conversation. It's a deeply personal conversation, and it's one that requires trust and understanding. So legacy gifts, also known as planned gifts, are those contributions made to a nonprofit organization through wills, trusts, or other estate planning instruments, and they enable donors to leave that lasting impact on causes that they care about ensuring that their philanthropic legacy lives on for many generations. And prospecting for potential legacy donors requires a bit of a strategic approach, right? Just as anything does. So you want to start by leveraging data and analytics to gain insights into your donor base. So dive deep into your donor database to identify those baby boomers who have shown a strong affinity to your organization's mission and have the capacity to make contributions, right? You would be surprised how many potential legacy donors are already in your database just waiting to be engaged. So you want to look for those donors who have a history of consistent giving, attend your webinars, or have expressed interest in planned giving options. And these are the individuals who are most likely to be receptive to your messaging about legacy gift. Now, initiating a conversation about legacy gifts requires self-awareness, sensitivity, and, well, finesse. You can't just approach a donor and say, hey, have you thought about what happens to your money when you're gone? You want to give some to us? That is a surefire way to make everyone feel uncomfortable. It is so important to approach this topic, again, with sensitivity and empathy. So you need to start by building a strong rapport with those potential legacy donors, understanding their interests, their values, their philanthropic goals. Take time to get to know them personally, whether that's through one-on-one meetings or donor appreciation events, phone calls, whatever that means for you and your donor engagement. And show genuine interest in their passions and their aspirations and demonstrate how their support can make a meaningful difference in advancing your organization's mission, but by preserving their legacies through time. My own experience has taught me that these conversations are really just about building those relationships as much as they are about securing the donations, right? It's about finding that common ground in those shared values. And once you've established a foundation of trust and connection, you can broach the topic of legacy giving in a really thoughtful and respectful manner. Instead of solely focusing on that financial part, frame the conversation around the impact they can create through their generosity, highlight success stories and testimonials that really illustrate how legacy gifts have transformed lives and communities, inspiring them to envision their own legacy within your organization. And when discussing legacy giving options, you really want to provide clear and accessible information about different planned giving options, such as bequests, charitable gift annuities, and charitable remainder trusts. There are so many ways that folks can leave a legacy. So you can offer educational resources and personalized consultations, because this may be daunting for you. It's probably daunting for your donors and your legacy givers as well. You want to help them understand the benefits of each option. And above all, you want to assure them that their legacy gift will be stewarded with the utmost care and integrity. There may not be much that we are leaving in this world, but if they can leave just a fraction of who they are, what they cared about, that's important. So you want to ensure that their philanthropic legacy endures for generations to come. Now, beyond these one-on-one interactions, these big conversations, it's so important to highlight your planned giving program throughout your communications with all of your donors, all of your community. For example, if you have a dedicated planned giving landing page on your website, that would be really great, right? Where donors can easily find information and resources. Now, you can also consider running a targeted campaign during August, which is actually Make a Will Month, to encourage donors to think about their legacies. I bet you a lot of people need to update their wills anyways, right? So it's a nice reminder. It's helpful all around. And developing a legacy giving society can also help foster a sense of community and recognition for those who choose to make a planned gift. And additionally, you can mention planned giving when reviewing your annual report when you're sitting down with potential major donors. This can be a wonderful natural opportunity to discuss how they can leave a lasting impact through your organization. So make sure that your planned giving, your legacy giving, is visible not just with the donors that you have now, but to everybody that may come across your webpage or your organization. All that being said, it's not just about who holds the purse strings now, it's about who will be holding them in the future. And that's why it's so important for nonprofits to connect with the up-and-coming donors who will shape philanthropy in the years and the decades to come. By establishing these connections with these emerging donors early on, nonprofits can really lay the groundwork for long-term support and sustained impact. So you're future-proofing your nonprofit, essentially. So how do we get these millennials and these Gen Xers on board? Well, just like anybody, you need to start by understanding what makes them tick. Each generation brings its unique perspectives and behaviors to philanthropy. For Gen X, they are characterized by pragmatism and independence, and it's really crucial to engage through digital platforms and support causes that have a direct impact on their communities. And then millennials, on the other hand, kind of seek to make a social impact while aligning with their personal values. They really emphasize transparency and crave that deeper connection with the causes they support. So to effectively engage with these diverse demographics, nonprofits really need to understand their unique values, their preferences, and their communication styles, and tailor their strategies accordingly. It is not just about reaching them, it's about resonating with them. Instead of waiting for millennials and Gen Xers to become major donors, nonprofits really need to focus on nurturing their interest in philanthropy from an early stage, even if they don't seem quite capable of making a major gift today. I always say, the day you plant the seed is not the day you eat the fruit, and that is okay. This means that you need to take the time to educate them about the impact of charitable giving and provide opportunities for involvement, even if their contributions are initially modest, right? You can do this by hosting informational sessions that can demystify the process of charitable giving and empower donors to make informed decisions about where they can allocate their resources. Taking a proactive approach to donor engagement means playing the long game. By building those authentic relationships and fostering a sense of belonging within the donor community, nonprofits can really cultivate a culture of giving that extends across generations. You can encourage peer-to-peer fundraising campaigns or establish giving circles that can create a sense of camaraderie among donors, making philanthropy feel more like a shared experience rather than just an individual obligation. I know that really helps me when I'm thinking about my own giving. And in addition to cash donations, nonprofits should highlight non-cash giving options such as stocks, cryptocurrencies, or even life insurance policies. According to Fortune, millennials and Gen Z are growing at a high rate in the investing game. I don't think that this is a surprise to anybody. And according to the Giving Block, our friends at the Giving Block, despite the fact that about 89% of wealth is held in non-cash or complex assets, 86% of charitable giving is currently done with cash. So that's checks, cash, credit cards. So providing diverse giving channels really ensures that donors can contribute in a way that aligns with their preferences and financial circumstances. And offering these tax-efficient giving options, too, like the donor-advised funds or qualified charitable distributions, can really appeal to donors who look for strategic ways to maximize their impact and minimize their liability, right? So you want to give folks the option to give in a way that makes sense for them, where their funds are tied up. And I'll add one more point to this. Throughout all of this, the transparency and accountability of your organization's operations is absolutely key to gaining the trust of these younger donors. Millennials and Gen Xers want to know that their gifts are making a tangible difference. So be sure to communicate the impact of their donations effectively, or the impact that their donations can have if they haven't made a gift yet. And this may involve providing regular updates on program outcomes, sharing success stories or testimonials, soliciting feedback from donors to demonstrate that their voices are being heard and valued. But you want to capture the generosity of these folks that are about to get a huge transfer of wealth, and you need to hold yourselves accountable and make sure that everything that you're doing is fully transparent. Now, as we wrap up, I have just a few more tips to set you up for success as you prepare for this great wealth transfer. You want to consider your investment strategy carefully. So, with this substantial influx of wealth, there is an opportunity to allocate resources for long-term sustainability and growth. So, whether that's upgrading technology, expanding your programs, or acquiring assets, smart investments now can yield significant returns in the future. And I'll say this over and over, don't miss the chance to deepen relationships with donors. The Great Wealth Transfer presents a really unique opportunity to engage with both new inheritors and existing supporters. So again, show them the impact of their contributions, foster those connections, and nurture those long-term partnerships. Thank you for joining us on the Nonprofit Podcast. I hope you've left with the confidence to take a small step today that will make a big difference tomorrow. Be sure to click the download button on your podcast player, then leave the Nonprofit Podcast a review or give it a thumbs up if you're listening to the Nonprofit Podcast on YouTube. Your review is a great way to help others find us. You're here to help others. We're here to help you. Until next time, stay inspired.
That warm feeling when you help someone, it's not just happiness, it's fulfillment. And we believe it should be available to everyone, from frontline heroes to first-time fundraisers. Our tools empower you to help others. This is our mission. This is DonorBox, helping you help others.